So I was debating whether to talk about this, but I do feel like I want to because I know a lot of actors listen to this podcast. And I know this is something that people get really harped on in terms of audition stories that like maybe aren't considered like the worst, but like least favorite audition stories that they look back and they go, oh my God, I thought I may never be called in for that casting director again, or I hated that moment, or I felt so this. And I had that for the pilot. Do you remember casting Songbird?
My gosh, yes.
Songbird with a Y.
Yes.
So if someone asks me to name like one of my least favorite audition stories, that one comes to mind. You were there. It has nothing to do with you, obviously. But the audition was for a young artist. And I remember the breakdown was come in and like prepare a song. It was like a pop song specifically.
Right.
And it wasn't supposed to be good. I remember like it was like a one-line thing, but it was like, don't be great. Like, don't even worry about the song. You're not supposed to be great. Just like prepare a song. And it doesn't have to be good. So I remember going, great, I'll prepare a song that like I sing karaoke, and I practiced it and whatever. And I remember I walked in, and granted, this was years ago. I would say like 2014 or something.
Yeah.
So a while
back. It was like 2013, I think.
13?
Yeah.
It was 2013. So I remember it was a while back. And, you know, I just started really sort of auditioning in TV and film like that year, the year before. And I walk in and people were doing scales in the bathroom. And I remember going like, should I be doing scales? Like I'm supposed to not be good. So I walk in, I was like, okay, I have an idea of what I want to do. And the first thing you said, and I understand probably why you said it, because I think people forget casting directors are given more information, obviously, than we are. And the client probably told you, or you probably saw people were doing the same thing over and over again and needed to inform actors. But the first thing you said was, you know what, sing this to the best of your ability. Like, just try to be, like, don't worry about being bad. Maybe people were being bad and it was pretty, like, awful how bad they thought we were. But you were just like, be as good as you can and just, like, sing the song. Don't worry about, like, the bad note thing. And I was super thrown. And I remember I was thinking in later on, like, what should I have done? Which I think we're going to discuss in a second, but where I'm going to ask you about in a second. But do you remember that note? Do you remember, like, did you remember my audition? Because I think that's the first thing I want to ask. I doubt you did. But if you did, I was curious. Do you remember my audition? Do you remember those series of auditions?
I remember this series, and I think it was like a decade. So I think most likely was people were trying to be so bad and push it so far that it was like they were overdoing it. And it was like becoming like almost comical or campy or cheesy, where it's like, no, we're not bringing in like meaning to bring in like that's your main skill set as a singer. Like it's supposed to be like this person's, you know, maybe on pitch for a bit, but then falls off. But like, some of the biggest pop stars in the world, if you take off the autotune, like it's really quite interesting. So I would guess people were like, even people who we knew to be quite good singers were pushing it into this like too far and felt a bit too like pushed and odd. I don't remember though specifically why we would have given that note. But I think in that moment, what I would have, and now that, I mean, again, I think that was my second associate job. So that was that was a long time ago.
Wow.
If I were me today, I'd say, with that idea, take a minute, go do your thing, reset, and come back when you're ready.
Which is what I told myself I'll do next. Like I told myself at the time.
But I probably didn't have the maturity to know to tell you that. And then that's where the, actors, the confidence comes in of like, that just scrambled my brain. I need to step out and come back. And I think most folks, particularly casting folks, are going to say, absolutely, take your moment. And the rare a-hole might be like, no, just go.
Just go.
Unless there was something about that we wanted. Every now and then we do kind of purposely give you a bit of information that you then ask you to just go into it to be like so it feels really fresh and authentic and like.
And instinctual.
And it's like, I mean, and I think that can work in this case that does not apply. But I think in some cases it can, of just wanting to like get a real natural reaction in the moment to new information.